shall be my son.
Saying to the son,
I believe.
Shall be my son.
I see that Revelations 5.
Yeah, hold it. Just line back on for that.
Right, this is 2 Samuel 7. Yep. 2 Samuel 7 and 14. 2 Samuel chapter 7 verse 14. In fact, let me read from verse 13. 2 Samuel chapter 7 verse 12. And when the days be fulfilled, and when thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, I shall set up thy seed after thee, which shall proceed out of thy bowels, and I will establish his kingdom. And he shall build an house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. I will be his father, and he shall be my son. If he commit iniquity, I will chasten him with the rod of men, and with the stripes of the children of men.
Is that again?
2 Samuel chapter 7 verse 12. And when thy days be fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, I will I will set up thy seed after thee,
Right?
which shall proceed out of thy bowels.
This is the Most High speaking through a prophet to David. So the Most High is going to set up a seed, his seed after him, which would be what Solomon. Come on now.
And I will establish his kingdom,
Right?
and he shall build a house for my name.
And that's what Solomon did. Took him 40 years. Not now 40 years to build a building. It's a long ass time.
I mean, it must have been a beautiful building too.
Exactly. That's true architecture right here. Right? Detail. Come on now.
And it said, and he shall build an house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever.
Huh?
And
What did Solomon live forever?
No.
He died. So this is spiritual.
Reincarnation, baby.
How can his kingdom last forever? Because you know, after a while, after Solomon, you had Rehoboam and the other kings of Judah and Israel, because there was a split during the time of Rehoboam and Jeroboam, right? And you know, them kings, they were going off. You have certain kings that were trying to do the right thing, that were righteous to some degree, but they all fall off, man. To the point where there are prophets like what? Jeremiah, Isaiah, that prophesied of the coming of the ancient Babylonians, man. And they came and they set fire to the temple. They took the people as captives because of the sins of the kings of Israel and Judah, man. Right? So read that again.
2 Samuel chapter 7 verse 13. He shall build a house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever.
Right, so we know that's talking about, that's Yahawashi. That's reincarnation.
What precept to back him up when you're ready?
Is that it?
One more verse. Verse 14. I will be his father, and he shall be my son.
What did it say in the New Testament? This my son, whom I am
Well pleased. Woo!
Someone get that?
Woo!
Someone get that?
And you know, it's in that spiritual temple is us.
Right,
How
right.
shall make?
Right. Someone get that? It's my son, in whom I'm well pleased. Somebody get that.
On this verse, Solomon wasn't beaten with the stripes of men. So it shows you that it was him coming back as Yahawashi.
Right.
I will be his father, and he shall be my son. If he commit iniquity, I will chasten him with the rod of men.
So where's the account of Solomon being conquered and being beaten with the stripes of men? Meaning the heathens, because remember the heathens were in subjection to Solomon because of David. Because Solomon didn't do any conquering. It was David that laid the smackdown on the heathens during his time. He shed blood. He shed so much blood that the Most High said, listen, you shed too much blood. You can't build this temple, man. Your son is going to have to build it. With his hands are clean. He's a lamb without blemish. He'll build it. You too much of a warrior, man.
That's an omen. That's an omen nomen. You know, Shalomah means peaceable one.
Yeah, yeah.
But David was just fucking people up.
Yeah, he was lining them up, man. Taking their women. Right, he laid it down, man. He put that carnal spirit on the earth. But Solomon laid the spiritualness down. That's why he wrote the book of Proverbs, the book of Ecclesiastes, Wisdom of Solomon. because he laid the knowledge and the wisdom down. I mean, David did it as well because he had written different books of Psalms because he was spiritual too. He was also a prophet.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know,
And he was also a soldier.
yeah.
Prophet, soldier, statesman. He was versatile, but
Yeah.
He was shepherd,
he was
yeah,
linguistic.
boy.
He had a lot going on, man.
Yeah.
You're multi-talented, man.
And you know what too, that guy's the balance.
Yeah.
Because even though my man David, he put the carnality in the midst, but my man, like you said, Solomon, he laid the spiritual down.
Yeah, he laid
That's
the
that
spiritual
balance.
down. Right.
I think outside of Esau in today's day and age, David's got the most bodies, man.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
Salakia, I wanted to say, David's got the highest body count in the Bible.
Yeah.
Outside the Most High, obviously.
Outside of Yahawashi. That's because Yahawashi,
when he comes back, yeah.
Yahawashi, he's gonna do he's gonna triple, he's gonna double
Yeah.
what David did.
Yeah.
What David did, man. Yeah.
Okay,
You know what
so
I'm saying? So this is Yahawashi coming up.
finish on this verse, 2 Samuel 7 and 14. I will be his father, and he shall be my son. If he commit iniquity, I will chasten him with the rod of men.
So that's what happened. When he came back as Yahawashi, when Solomon reincarnated
Yep.
as Yahawashi, what happened? He was stricken by the Romans,
Yep.
right? He was whipped, scourged by the rod of men. If you got that precept saying, "Oh, this is my son."
I got it here.
Bring out.
Right, man. Or you want
Oh, no, you go, brother.
Right, the water. Right, this is Matthew 17, verse 5. While he yet spake, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them.
Stop with us.
Right, so it says, let's go from the transfiguration then, right? So Matthew 17 and 1, and after 6 days Yahawashi taketh Peter, James, and John, his brother, and bringeth them up into a high mountain apart, and was transfigured before them, and his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was as white as light.
See that? So he became. You almost say he showed his immortal estate, man. Right?
And behold, there appeared unto them Moses and Elias talking with them. Then answered Peter and said unto Yahawashi,
Moses and Elijah. Moses represents what? The law. And Elijah represents the prophets. Come on now.
Then answered Peter and said to Yahawashi, Lord, is it good for us to be here? If thou wilt, let us make here 3 tabernacles, one for thee, and one for Moses, and one for Elias.
And that's funny because Peter was Moses.
Yep.
People get bugged out and say,
People
oh,
get.
He was the first king of Israel.
Peter was Moses. Because Moses, he was the first king over all Jacob, man. When you go back to Deuteronomy, he says he was king in Jeshurun. He was king in Jeshurun. He was the first king.
you got scoffers that try and say that's not reincarnation, because if Peter's Moses coming back, how was Yahawashi talking with them? And there's 2 different lifetimes. But
Why?
the apostles broke it down.
That's
When
heavy.
It says talking, it was moving pictures of them in their old lifetimes. It wasn't actually them. It was like moving hologram pictures of Elijah and Moses next to Yahawashi. So he wasn't actually talking with them.
Yeah. No one can do that. He does it all. He can do that today if he wanted to, like through visions and dreams and stuff.
This is Deuteronomy 33, verse. Let me start with verse 3. Yea, he loved the people. All the saints are in thy hand, and they sat down at thy feet. Everyone shall receive of thy words. Moses commanded us a law, even the inheritance of the congregation of Jacob. And he was king in Jeshurun when the heads of the people and the tribes of Israel were gathered together. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So Moses was the king, the first king, right? Then you had Saul, and then you had David, man. But David was the reincarnation of Moses. He came back as David, man. Right? So read that again.
It says, and while he yet spake, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them. Oh, no, that's not the one. Let me read up again. So it says, and behold, there appeared...
I want to know where it is as well. Quote it, please, brother.
Oh, Salakia, Matthew 17, starting from verse 1. Right, Salakia, let me read this again, right? And verse 2, and he was transfigured before them, and his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as the light. And behold, there appeared unto them Moses and Elias talking with them. Then answered Peter and said unto Yahawashi, Lord, is it good for us to be here? If thou wilt, let us make here 3 tabernacles, one for thee, and one for Moses, and one for Elias. And while he yet spake, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and behold, a voice out of the cloud which said, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased.
What's that cloud?
Chariot.
Cloud is a chariot. A chariot, man. A so-called UFO. A bright cloud overshadowed them. And then what happened?
And behold, a voice out of the cloud which said, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him.
Right, talking about Yahawashi. He's the beloved Son of the Heavenly Father, in whom is the Heavenly Father well pleased. So let's go back to the prophecy where it says about Solomon coming up.
This is 2 Samuel chapter 7, verse 12. And when thy days be fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, I will set up thy seed after thee, which shall proceed out of thy bowels,
Right.
and I will establish his kingdom.
Right.
He shall build an house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever.
Right, so that's the everlasting kingdom. That's Daniel chapter 7. So wait a minute, how's that possible? Didn't Solomon decease? And then you had different kingdoms that reigned after the rulership of Solomon, like you had the Babylonians, the Medo-Persians, the Greeks, the Romans. So obviously Solomon's reign did not rule forever. So we know this is talking about the kingdom. So this is for all you scoffers that scoff at reincarnation. How can Solomon's kingdom, the seed of David, rule forever?
Yeah.
That's a very good point.
That's reincarnation. He came back in the flesh as Yahawashi.
Yeah.
When he came back in power and great glory and laid the smack down on all the heathens and accumulated all them bodies greater than David. It says the slain of the Lord shall be many. Right? And that's what said upon his head were many crowns. That's the everlasting kingdom. So we know that that's Yahawashi. That was Solomon. That was Solomon.
Knocking niggas out.
Right.
You take this out, 'cause I can't help it.
So that's him. And that means that when Solomon sinned, what was the sin he committed? When he started building up them
Idol worship.
shrines, man. Them devil shrines.
Idol worship.
them Ammonite idols, man.
And the women.
They started pussy worshipping, man. Vagina got him tied up.
He's actually.
Wait, man.
It wasn't the pussy led him to worship the idols. So you can put it like that if you want, but it's really idol worship.
Well, women are an idol unto themselves. In a
Of
way
course,
because
of
they want us
course.
to worship them.
Of course. That's
No, man,
right.
You gotta have fun with this thing. You can't go too serious. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You gotta balance it out, man.
This is First Kings chapter 11, verse 4. Let me start verse 3. And he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines, and his wives turned away his heart. Remember what it says? It says, "You mean to love the Lord with all your heart." So his heart got perverted, man. His mind got perverted. Because he was listening to his woman, Delilah, man. Right? So it says, "For it came to pass when Solomon was old, that his wives turned away his heart after other gods. And his heart was not perfect with Yahweh his God, as was the heart of David his father. For Solomon went after Ashtaroth, the goddess of the Zidonians, and after Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites. And Solomon did evil in the sight of the Lord, and went not fully after Yahweh, as did David his father." So you have to go fully, man.
And there's no, and you know, I don't mean to cut, brother, but there's no telling what kind of abominations he did. You know, because some of those gods require
So
certain acts like
Yeah, yeah,
signing
yeah.
and all of that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's why he had to pay the price for that.
And idolatry is a sin unto death.
Idolatry is a sin unto death too. But ultimately, when you go back into it, when you read Romans 5, it's really because he was out, so he had to be the one to make everything all right.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, put it right back again, right
Yeah,
back.
but including his sins too.
He could have been sacrificing Israelite children up in them temples.
Yeah, don't
True,
know.
true,
Don't know, yeah.
true.
Different types of whoredom.
Of course, brother.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that.
Sex parties and that.
Oh Lord.
That's our only role model.
Well, that shows you the
One of
mercy
few
of the
role
Lord.
models that we got.
Yeah.
It shows you the mercy of the Lord, man. Solomon was the wisest man, and he still fell for that, man.
Yeah.
So it just shows us that. I'm not saying get comfortable sinning, but you know, the Lord understands. You know,
The righteous man falls 7 times, man. Even great men are not always wise.
If I may, that's why Yahawashi said, remember the guy says to him, what do you call him? Rabbi. Yeah, why callest me thou Rabbi? There's only one good,
That is in heaven.
Most High in heaven. So Yahawashi is probably aware of all the
Shit he
atrocities
did.
he
Yeah.
did
done.
He did know. Because the scripture says he looked into the hearts of men and knew all.
Mm-hmm.
So he knew about himself.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah, wow. Imagine if you knew about the shit that you did in your past.
Damn,
You'd
you're
be
right.
drinking all kind of wine.
Yeah, that's why he was
You'd be drinking vodka, you'd be drinking whiskey at the same time.
Damn.
Back to back, man.
like, even though that's it up, man. And you know,
You messed up in the spirit, man.
It's true.
you know that there's a time in the scriptures where it says that the disciples brought Yahawashi to the temple to show him the buildings, like how glorious it was. He would have been thinking, man, in my past life, you know,
Yeah.
I left this to go build some other shit.
Yeah.
You know?
It was my fault why this place got burnt down, man.
Yeah.
In the first place.
It's a lot of things. You got it.
Go on.
No, what I was saying was that's why he said he said someone called him good. I'm roughly paraphrasing.
Yeah,
He said call no man good.
Yeah, because he had a contrite spirit himself. His whole soul, his spirit was rent. Because he realized that it was his fault. Why all these things had to come to an end, why the falling away of his people had to happen. It was his fault.
So in Isaiah, a man of sorrows and grief.
Yes.
Yeah,
And if you know all that shit, you know.
he never smiled, man.
Yeah.
They can't imagine. Imagine Yahawashi smiling. You can't imagine that.
All of that.
Laughing and smiling. They can't imagine that. When the scripture they say that Yahawashi was smiling.
There's only
There's
one.
only one joke he made about the sons of thunder.
Oh yeah.
That's the only joke recorded that Yahawashi made.
If I may say, that's why it's so powerful, because you know when he says, I've made known unto you all things that have been made known for me from the Father, and I declare you my friends. That was a really powerful, when I read it at least, that really got me, because it's like the disciples, like Yahawashi was going through it all by himself, but he considered the disciples as friends, and that's a lot for a man who's, you know, really going through it and kind of solitary. The fact that he thought, okay, now you guys are my friends, that was touching, man, at least for me. So, back to you.
And just like what Job said, just real brief, because Job said, whosoever perish being innocent. So Yahawashi was innocent because he knew or where the righteous belong.
Right, so let me read on. 1 Kings 11 verse 7. Then Solomon built an high place for Shemosh, the abomination of Moab, in the hill that is before Jerusalem, and for Molech, the abomination of the children of Ammon.
Molech requires child sacrifice, right? So
Sacrifice.
yeah.
And likewise did he for all his strange wives, which burnt incense and sacrificed unto their gods. And that's for you guys, you camps out there that say, oh, that's why we can't take heathen women. You can take heathen women. It's just that what happened was, the reason why we were told not to do it is because they would turn away our minds to serve their gods, man. Right? That's the sin. That's the transgression. The reason behind it, man. We can take women of other nations, man. Right?
All of this happened to Solomon when he was in his old age as well.
Right.
So he wasn't really all the way
There.
So it said, And Yahweh was angry with Solomon. Verse 8, and likewise did he for all his strange wives, which burnt incense and sacrificed unto their gods. So Solomon did likewise. He sacrificed unto their gods, man, their idols. So he sacrificed them children, man, and did them rituals, called them abominations.
Hey, from the mere fact he went off, you just don't know what a man is doing when he goes off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So much things.
Because he think that his way is right.
Yes.
Oh yeah, strong delusions. Yeah.
Man's way must seem right unto him.
Unto him, but it's
the
death.
way thereof is the way of death.
He's probably doing it in their languages as well.
Yeah.
The wife next to him, you know.
Yeah. Bringing
like
the priests in. You know, because the scriptures talk about, there's different rituals that they made, man. You know what I'm saying? Confusion of marriages.
Wow.
Changing of how's it go, man? It's a wisdom of Solomon.
But Slugger, did you just not read that he loved many foreign wives? He loved.
Yeah.
That's the answer there. He loved it.
Yeah.
Love will love you do something. If any man's been in love, I hope you got the name love in it. But if any man's been in love with a woman, a man like that would understand, because love,
not an evil woman.
love is but see, that's what he did. He loved even women. He loved them. You can have them, but don't fucking love them, man. As a matter of fact, don't love. I will say, right, through my limited wisdom, don't love no fucking woman.
Well,
Don't love
that's on
no
this side. That's
on this side,
on this side.
because these bodies are full of shit, man. They will trick you. Strong delusions. Yeah.
if I may, I mean, personally, I hate the word love because it gets used so incorrectly all the
Yes.
time.
Lightly.
1 John 5:3. For this is the love of the Most High, that we keep His commandments,
Wow.
and His commandments are not grievous.
Wow.
See, everybody run around talking about, oh, I
Love,
love you,
love,
I love
love,
this,
love.
I love that. Fuck that shit, man. That's all bullshit.
And what? Yeah.
Them people ain't got no love in their hearts. It's just wickedness. But they
Wickedness.
use love
Yes.
like a
Yeah.
a little
Veneer,
smoke
veneer.
screen.
Yeah,
So they
mask
can do
it.
all their shit and nobody can't call them out. And
Yeah,
because,
yeah.
oh, but I love you.
Yeah,
No,
love
fuck
you,
that
that's
shit,
right.
man. It's bullshit.
Real love is order from the highest.
Keeping His
Yeah,
commandments.
that's real.
Yeah.
That's real
That's
love.
order.
Beautiful.
That's discipline.
Once you do the will of the Lord,
Yeah.
the will of the Lord.
Everything starts making sense, man.
Yeah.
But when you start bringing in pagan, heathenistic ways, therein lies confusion
Yes.
and every wicked work, man. This Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 20. And so the multitude, allured by the grace of the work, took him now for a god, which is a little before was honored as a man. And this was an occasion to deceive the world.
Wow.
Right, that's that image of Cesare Borgia. He was honored as a man, but his image got took as a god to deceive the whole world, man. For men serving either calamity or tyranny, did ascribe unto stones and stocks the incommunicable name. Moreover, this was not enough for them, that they erred in the knowledge of the Most High, but whereas they lived in the great war of ignorance, those so great plagues called they peace. Right? So we're living in a time of what they call peace, man. Right? Transsexual, all these LGBT, they call that a time of peace where everything's acceptable. It's a time of ignorance.
Yep.
But they call it peace. Right? For whilst they slew their children in sacrifices, or used secret ceremonies, or made revelings of strange rites. Revelings meaning partings of strange rites, man. Like orgies. Those are strange rites, man. Right? They slew their children in sacrifices and used secret ceremonies. That's these secret societies, man.
Yep.
Right? Skull and bones.
I forgot mine.
Right? And all these things.
Yeah.
And too, among, if I'm correct, among many witches, if I'm correct, Solomon, it was mentioned that Solomon was one of the greatest witches of all time. You brothers know what I'm
Yeah,
talking
he got
about.
into that on the Mason left hand side. He
The
got high up.
Masonic Brotherhood, yeah.
He got high up in it.
Yeah, he was the greatest witch. Come on.
Wow.
But then that's again what
Yeah.
on this
You
side,
remove it might be
we're
better.
told the accounts
Yeah.
of high priest.
You're right, 'cause it's them.
That we had to learn wickedness to learn righteousness.
Yeah.
So even Yahawashi in wickedness, he went all the way on that side of Solomon, but then came as the ultimate righteousness as the Messiah.
But if you listen to Ecclesiastes, man, the first chapter, he brought into all that wisdom.
He
Brought into all them wisdoms, man. Right? That's what I said,
I still got 5, brother.
Yeah.
Real quick, just because we're talking about Solomon and Yahawashi, just to back it up in the precepts that no new thing under the sun, and do the same thing, right? This is 1 Kings chapter 1, verse 33. The king also said unto them, take with you the servants of your Lord, and cause Solomon my son to ride upon mine own mule, and bring him down to Gihon. And then when you check Matthew 21:5, and it says, tell ye the daughter of Zion, behold, the king cometh unto thee, meek, and sitteth upon an ass, and a coat of the foal of an ass.
Right.
So it's the same thing, man. You know, Solomon, he rode the mule, and Yahawashi, he came back and rode the donkey, man.
Yeah.
Which was to symbolize humility.
Humility.
Yeah. So see, that shows you right there, man. See, you have to, that's what you guys, you tripping at reincarnation. Being back in the flesh. Solomon was Yahawashi. Straight up. It's all spiritual. If you have to receive it. That's what I said, the spiritual man, you receive the things that are of the Most High. Right? So this is all spiritual, man. You understand? But and going back to Solomon, when he started going off and he started making sacrifices unto these strange gods, I'm going into some of the things that he may have done, man. When he was making them sacrifices, it says, for verse 23 in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, for whilst they slew their children in sacrifices, and he said he sacrificed unto what strange gods, right? Yeah. Or used secret ceremonies. Secret ceremonies.
Yeah, man.
Or made revelings of strange rites. Again, like I said, revelings, what's the word revel mean? Partying. Right? Partying.
Or carnival.
Yeah, okay, carnival. That's all sexual, man. People getting naked, half naked in public, daggering and all them thing there. I think there was that clip, man. That clip you put on the group chat. They were on top of the bus, daggering, and then the whole thing fall down. And the most I caused the whole thing to fall on some woman's head. She looked like she got killed, man.
Yeah. Snap like a neck snap.
Yeah.
Send that to me, Baba, because I missed that one.
Yeah, I'll send it.
She didn't die though, did she?
Yeah, she made another video.
So the Most High's reserved her for even greater judgment.
The Most High might make it where her neck get bent, man.
Yeah.
You know? But anyway, it says, or made revelings of strange rites, neither kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled, but either one slew another treacherously or grieved him by adultery. Right? So you had adulterous practices. Men sleep with other men's wives. You're cockholding, man. You're cockhold. You know what that is, man? A man watching another man pop his woman. And getting and freaking off and that little weird shit, man.
You remember that thing called Caligula? Is it Caligula?
That's a film, isn't it?
The film, yeah. There's a lot of adultery going on there, man. Group sex, everything.
See what? You see, you got guys that actually get off on seeing another man pop his woman.
Oh, that is fucking.
That's heavy in the skin.
And especially them Edomite.
Yeah,
Edomite men, you get off and seeing a Jake pop your woman.
And he's recording it and everything.
Oh, weirdos, man.
Fucking man.
This world is big.
So that's marriages being not kept. It says neither kept their lives nor marriages any longer undefiled, but neither one slew another treacherously, like what David did to Uriah when he had him put him on the front line of battle to have him to be slew so he could take his woman, which is a Bathsheba.
Yes.
Slew him treacherously.
You know what it goes to show too. I don't cut you, brother, right? You know what it goes to show? It goes to show that even the one third the elect of Israel went off.
Yeah.
We all went off.
Yeah.
Like we like to. I mean, I'm not saying that we like to, but I'm just saying a lot of the times we talk about how the majority of Israel went off and how they go off now. But
we went off too.
We all went off too.
We went off too because Solomon went off.
Yeah.
Solomon made sacrifice unto strange gods, so he was doing all kind of wickedness, man. Because it wasn't just for the Ammonite woman that he had; it's for all them women, all them strange women that he had. He was making altars for their gods too, and making strange rites to their gods too. So he was well versed in them abominations, man.
Yeah.
He knew all about them rituals.
That's right.
On the left hand side, he knew about them devil worshipping.
There's
So
cults.
Solomon started to get learned in all them wicked practices, man. All right.
But you know that goes back to as well. This is heavy. Going all the way back to the garden. Remember when you had you had the tree of life and you had the tree of good and evil.
Right.
So what happened was they wanted, well, it was really Eve. It was really by obviously the spirit of Eve that led into that. But the Most High didn't want the Adamites, which is what they were part of, the chosen Adamites, to know what is it, the knowledge of good and evil, but to know righteousness.
Right.
But what happened was they went the other route, and that's exactly what happened. That's why we went off and et cetera, et cetera. But dealing with Solomon, what Solomon did is Solomon became more wise on the left-hand side. But it makes sense because if he's going to be the one, the begotten spirit, he would have to know both sides of the spectrum.
The spectrum. That's heavy.
Both sides of the
That's
spectrum.
heavy.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the spirit. Because we mentioned that earlier that Yahawashi is above Satan. So if Satan is the head of the left-hand side, Yahawashi has to master it more than he does.
Right.
And it's around to this day. This is from some witchcraft site, and it says the magic ring called the Seal of Solomon.
There you go. That's it, brother.
The magical symbol known as the Star of David was supposedly given to Solomon, which gave him power over demons. And even Asmodeus, the king of demons. And it says early adherents of the Kabbalah portrayed Solomon as sailing through the air on a throne of light placed on an eagle, on which he visited the gates of heaven and hell, and as well as the dark mountains beyond the fallen angels Uzzah and Azrael were chained when he used his magic. So to this day, you've got societies that still practice the witchcraft that Solomon got into.
Because he must have got into that stuff, man.
He was deep into it.
Because the concubines that he had, he must have been spending a lot of time with them concubines in order to learn their knowledge. And they must have been showing him, he must have delved deep into their sorceries, their idolatries, understanding their language, right? Learning different dialects. He must have been well versed in the dialects, the tongues of these heathens, right? Setting up these rituals, bringing their priests, and start setting up the altars, because in order to have an altar, you need to have priests. So he must have had them heathen priests, man. Right? He must have set up altar like the gods and the idols. He needed them different, the masters, man, them different, the masons. To build them different idols, man, the gods. Right? To actually build it, to chisel it and stuff, man.
And that's why the original term Mason goes back to stone building.
Yeah. You must have got into all of that. But that's going to this is Leviticus chapter
Even witchcraft, he must have dealt into witchcraft too.
Of course. All
Yeah.
of that.
It's all witchcraft.
It's all witchcraft. It's all rebellion. It's all rebellion against the truth of the Heavenly Father.
And the water, before you read that, I just want to just say one thing briefly, just to add on to what you were saying.